Hello, everybody. It's been a little while. I suspect most of you don't know who I am or remember me at all, so I'll just briefly reintroduce myself. My name is Rawl. I used to play competitively back in the mid to late 2000s, so just a couple of years ago now. And I only recently learned about the Battlefront community that's kind of built itself up in the years since I've been gone. I don't really play the game much anymore, but I wanted to contribute in some way, and I still enjoy talking about the game. I used to have fun doing kind of in-game coaching and VOD reviews back in the day. Well, what you could do back then. So I thought it would be fun to give it another shot after a decade or so of technological advancement. A big thank you to Sev, who was kind enough to both provide his gameplay and to humor an old retired BF2 veteran for a couple of hours. A full length version felt a little too long to post, so I tried to trim our discussion down to a few of the more interesting points that we talked about. As you can see on your screen, he chose a very high level clip for us to review, and all the discussion is from our first time watching the clip together live. So, without further ado, please enjoy the first and hopefully not last rocking chair review, this time featuring Sev. A good call up by your team to say they dropped already. But you have two people in your spawn, so at this point you either have to get them both out or you should be going for the flag.
Yeah, we're way out of position at the moment.
I don't know if that's true because you had two people in your spawn, so it's not like you need to be in position. It's just more of like I think you could have gone faster, right? So at this point, this guy's dead. You see
Mhm.
two people on your map in your spawn, but you also have two teammates here.
Yeah,
And so the spawning person's going to spawn back or conference, right? You have a
right.
good, and he's spawning. He either made spawn or he missed spawn. He probably just made spawn.
Yeah.
Uh, and so because you stay here for an extra like 5-10 seconds, he has position. No matter which one he spawned at, he has position in the middle.
Yeah, well, when I dropped, I wasn't aware that, his teammates were coming up the ramp, so I just dropped to try to kill the flag carrier, but my teammate did that. Uh,
No, I think that part was right. It was more uh, at this point you see both of them in your spawn, but you have your teammates like running up the little thing here.
yeah.
So you know that your two teammates are going to try to deal with the people here. I would have just like ran away, like towards their flag to at least force pressure
Okay,
on them.
okay.
Um,
I think like, getting a better position than being at the bottom of the steps, like you'll see in a few seconds, would have been a good, thing to do. Um, the reason why just to defend my why I stayed for a little bit longer was because I was afraid of them pulling the reset flag and then walking up through our spawn and then running across the railing. I don't know if you know that jump where you can
mm-hmm. You like glitch
yeah,
into
you
the
can
top of the roof at some
yeah,
point. Yeah.
exactly. That's commonly used, and I guess my teammates were kind of in a position where they could like go outside and try to defend that. So
I think it's up to you
probably
either
running to
way.
the middle was the best idea. Trying to 1v1 Slender.
Um, that was bold. You probably should have died right there, actually,
From the debt pack.
from rolling. Like you rolled right when yeah, yeah, yeah. So he comes, you see him on the map, there's the debt, and then he rolled, right? So
Yeah,
after you saw that the debt was thrown, if he had thrown it farther, you would have died because you rolled.
true.
Yeah. And it should go without saying that everything that we look at is hindsight is 2020. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
like I should have thrown that debt better right there.
yeah. Yeah. Uh, so we're not trying to nitpick, it's more of just like reacting to what we're seeing.
Yeah, little imperfections that can be
There you
fixed.
if you had hugged this wall, you wouldn't have taken the second shot.
Hmm.
Oh, they didn't spawn here.
Mm-mm.
I would say that following the flag this way was probably a mistake because of that. Partially
Yeah.
because of that, and partially
Yeah.
because of if you had gone. Oops, let's go back a little bit further. He's going outside. You see one there. You see the second one's going to rotate. You know he's going to try to stop the flag.
Yep.
I would go this way so that at least he's not getting double teamed here. And you know that the second flag is coming this way.
I should have been aware that the flag was coming middle, but for some reason I wasn't.
There's a lot going on. You're defending one. You can't expect it to defend and kill at all times.
Yeah.
He's
I
trying to
should I
flank.
should have known that was a flag though. I didn't though. There, I should have gotten a little closer to deal more damage before he grabbed the flag.
I agree. I should have done more than zero. But okay. Oh, so she's that.
Basically, I mean, he used all his health packs at the
Yeah,
moment.
you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's watch it again. We'll go in. So we go slow motion because we like slow mo.
Oh yeah. Do some flicks that I shouldn't have done. I was like on his body and then I flicked to the left.
Yeah, I mean, in the moment, like I care more about like if you're getting in between his shot timers or not.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of what you could have done better, it's more of just like I think you were strafing into his shots, or more specifically, you were strafing back into the open when it was his turn to shoot,
Hmm.
and then you trapped yourself.
Yeah,
So
probably should have
that one you
gotten in
dodged,
cover.
but here you're dead. The second you
Yeah.
realize that the next shot doesn't come, you're dead.
Yeah.
Thing I noticed. You know, you're dead.
I'll keep an eye out for that. Yeah, yeah. I get surrounded.
Bye bye. Yeah, your path was up, right? Your safety was going that way before
Yeah,
the Magna got to you.
yeah. And now I have a long
Yeah.
spawn.
I'll say that the one thing that they did, I think, noticeably better is control their own space better than you guys did. When I say that, I mean I wish there was a way for me to see like the map, like a scene where you have your map open.
Hmm.
Um, but they basically clear you guys out of their space and then push into your space, right? Whereas the second that you guys spawned, you were often just trying to get into their space as fast as possible.
True.
Um, and so
They
it's,
moved together, you're saying, like,
they,
they,
they
used
cleared
all
the
3 of them.
threats, yeah, and then
Yeah,
moved.
yeah. Whereas we were trying to g like, one person Trojan horse and the rest of them.
Yeah. My point was you guys were spawning always at 3, right? And then you were trying to push up either this way or this way as far as possible, whereas they were just waiting here, killing one of you, and then pushing
Mhm.
almost
Yeah.
almost consistently, right? Um, and so it's more of a case of if you consider where the line of scrimmage is on this map, where would you put it? Would you put it like here?
Uh,
Would you put it here? Like where do you think the majority of the fighting happens on this map?
Middle, outside, ramp, and close to the flag. And, of course, in the back spawn if we had gotten there, but we hardly did.
Do you mean on that map specifically, or do you mean in Mustafar?
Mustafar.
Yeah. So I would say that this is obviously too close to you. if this is like one of your main lines of scrimmage, you're just going to lose every time.
Right.
There has to be some level of impact. That's why I think Windows is really important, is because 2 and 0 can naturally control this really well, whereas 3 gets to control this really well, right?
Yeah.
And so you have more advantage, or this side has more advantage going this way than 0 does. Um, and if someone goes this way, then this opens up. You guys weren't
Mhm.
really able to use this because you were always a man down, right?
Mhm.
Um, and you were a man down because you were forcing it more often where they were, and then they just move the line here, and then you're doomed.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. See how they're defending their side? That's what they were doing to you last game, is they were just defending this, waiting for one person to die, and then pushing. And they're trying to do the same thing again.
Mhm.
Just run. Yeah.
So here I'm just trying to get a like a
Distraction.
an opening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If
When
somehow my teammates get a ramp.
when you're here, your job is to wait. Draw 1 to 2 of them over here, and then wait for your team to win ramp. Right?
Right.
Yeah. And so you're actually pushing first,
Yeah.
which is probably wrong. It's not necessarily wrong. It's risky, right?
Yeah.
Because in a scenario where you get this kill, cool, you've pulled, and now you can go. But the entire fight, he has the advantage.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, you could do it.
If the off in the off chance that I get if I that I kill Puma there, one of his teammates will probably have to attend to me, try to kill me,
Oh yeah,
and which would allow my teammates to come up ramp or teammate or multiple teammates.
I do agree. I'm just saying that you're inherently putting yourself in a disadvantage by fighting here.
Yeah.
And so
I don't know what other option I have though.
wait, hope your team wins.
I'll let
Because
them push first.
well, think about it. Like if you have they have 1, 2, 3, right? You're
Yeah.
here. Here we'll do blue. You're here, and then you have 2 teammates here, right?
Mhm.
In a scenario where uh, let's do the scenario that just happened, right? Which is that you die here. You died, and now this person gets free reign to just go wherever the fuck they want.
Yep.
Um, this person now has to fall back, which means they can push forward. Okay. In the
Mhm.
scenario where you've won, right? Then you
Mhm.
guys have a very strong advantage. Okay. But you're
Mhm.
also fighting like a 30-70 against this guy.
Mhm.
This player is always going to have the advantage on you in this fight. And so scenario 3 is that you just chill. you just like make a campfire here and you just hang out with your logs until this happens. In the scenario where uh, one of your team dies, they have a really long ways to rotate. And the second one of these people dies, you just rotate back. And now you have 2 people blocking. This person will spawn in time. And now you just fight in the actual middle of the map as opposed to on their side. And then you just reset it over again. And so you made the risky play and it didn't work. It was the highest reward play, which
Yeah.
just didn't work.
Well, I actually don't know if that's the highest reward play. I think if my two teammates on the ramp kill the two enemies up top, then that's the best because they can flank that guy on the ramp that I'm 1v1ing. But
Oh,
I think it's a much harder fight to win. The 2-on-2 is much harder to win than the 1v1.
right. I would say overall that's the best of these two. It's always best if everyone dies.
Yeah.
In your own personal situation here, your best play was to win this, obviously.
Yeah.
Carrying on. We got a flag.
Hell yeah.
We did it. You just have to go sniper. You just gotta.
If if I died there, I think I would have had long spawn and my teammates would have had to touch.
You could check. This is pretty risky, like everything you're doing here,
Hmm.
which I think you would probably agree with. That you
Yeah.
probably just pushed up too far.
Yeah.
Because now they get to reset back in your space again. Oh, you should die. Yeah.
For long too. That sucks.
Why did you die? Besides the jump, which we've talked about before. Specifically, why did you die here?
Uh,
Like the
well, he
root
had a
root of
good
all your
peek and
problems.
shot on me. Yeah, I guess I didn't cover the door well enough with a grenade. Like if I had some suppression somehow, maybe I would have survived, or if I just supported my team instead of doing the Trojan horse thing that we talked about, of like trying to infiltrate their back line, get behind them.
This nade is killing this auto turret, right?
Yeah,
So you see a person here. You don't notice a person's there till like literally now, and you're already jumping, right?
yeah,
So it was really that you just didn't look at your minimap fast enough.
pretty much.
Yeah. Now he's gonna rotate back. Yep. I would say that flanking them there was actually probably wrong. In the sense
Mm,
that like if you look at go back. You were fighting here, right? More specifically, you were stopping him from fighting here. He
yeah,
rotated this way. One of his teammates died. And so his goal is now to go this way. And you have one teammate here. On the scenario where you flank this way, if this guy dies, then he scores.
yeah, essentially.
So you go this way instead. So you go there, and you're at least a body in his way, and he has to kill two of you.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Especially since I wouldn't have noticed this in the moment either, but with the spawn that would also potentially spawn here.
Hmm. That would open the possibility of him going back bridges, though.
Yeah, but it's way longer.
Yeah,
Like he has to rotate all the way back here, and it's a lot easier for you to just go this way
yeah,
through another spawn. So at that point, it's a 3-on-1.
yeah. Plus, my teammate runaway would probably spawn,
Bye bye.
probably be able to spawn bridges.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
rip. Yeah,
Individually, it just feels like all three of you are working too hard by yourselves, whereas they're
yeah.
trying to stay together more often. This is a mistake by No Way, obviously.
Rolling into the open. Yeah,
Not even just rolling into the open, being there. There's like a he's pushing this way. He lost the fight, or more specifically, he went neutral with the fight with Genji. Genji went this way. Now No Way's coming this way, and so you're here. Genji just comes back and flanks him, and he dies. So being anywhere in this position is a mistake by him.
mm,
He should be either back here or just camping by this door still,
okay.
and that's why he
You
died.
really are a defensive-minded player.
Oh yeah,
Defensively minded.
because it's I consider your existence on the map being more valuable than a kill.
Yeah, but I agree with that, but there is also like a trade-off with the cost of staying alive. Like if your main goal is to stay alive, you might give up too much positioning.
Well, it depends. I would say that that's probably true if you're bi. That's smart. I mean, you're alone again.
Yeah.
Uh, he cleared it out, and he had two people above him, so it was the right play, I guess.
Yeah.
Smart
Wha
play.
the wha
Hey,
I guess it wasn't the wrong play.
no, it wasn't. It was smart. There's a difference between staying alive just to save your KDA, and there's a difference between staying alive to control sections of the map,
Right.
right? If you consider yourself not as like just a player, but like as an object, it's more valuable to be able to reposition this object in a more advantageous position. It's better to be able to do that more often than it is to even go for like a 70-30 or a 60-40. You know what I mean? On a kill.
Mhm.
Because if it requires that your team and teammates are also good at this, uh,
Yeah.
which I think these guys are, um, there was probably some communication barrier where you just couldn't react fast enough in some scenarios. But you know, I would say that the evidence is that they are doing this. They are very rarely going in a 1v1 against you guys.
Right.
They're usually retreating back to their spot. Someone else is coming back around, and then they push together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep. I totally agree.
So I don't think it's necessarily about being defensive. It's about respecting what your existence means by.
Yeah. I got deleted.
Yeah. Here you decide for the debt. He also decides for the debt. Anytime you see
Mhm.
like the shot timer change, it means they're probably thinking about a debt. It's more obvious
Shot
now
timer.
because, yeah, one of the things that makes Battlefront really unique is how long it takes before a second shot will come out, right?
Mhm.
So if you have, for instance, Team Fortress 2, which is definitely a movement shooter, kind of like Battlefront, they kind of made a conscious decision where pretty much every gun in that game has a time, like a you fire your shot and then you can't fire it again for X amount of time, right?
Mhm.
This game is even more pronounced with that, where you shoot the shotgun shot and then there's like a huge amount of time you have to wait before you can shoot the next one, right?
Yeah.
But the time in between here is consistent. When people have been playing this game as long as these guys have, and you have your muscle memory is ingrained, where you shoot that you have like this tiny bit of wiggle room because you
Mhm.
can't just hold the button, right? You have your
Right.
shot and then shot and then shot. But this amount of time is equal relatively. And so if
Mhm.
this amount of time changes by like a good half a second, it means he's doing something different.
Mhm.
You know, some of the nuance comes, he shoots and then he like waits. Like you would have expected another shot to come in between there. And it didn't, which means you know that that's coming. And you know that that's coming before you see the fusion cutter.
Mhm.
The same
He blew
thing.
up his head a little early.
Yeah,
Probably could have killed me if he left it.
that was a good, because there must have been some communication with you too. Oh, nicely done.
Thank you.
That should be game.
I believe it is.
Yeah, they're all dead. They all just spawn. You did it.
We won a map.
Ava. Yeah,
Barely, but
no. That was a fun map. I liked watching that one.
I liked reviewing it with you.
Me too, man. It's been a while since I got to do this.